Welcome to the Math Route. Today, we're diving into how to evaluate numerical expressions using the four basic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division on whole numbers, fractions, and decimals. Plus, we'll explore the order of operations with PEMDAS and BOMDAS. Let's make math easy and fun. A numerical expression is a mathematical sentence that uses numbers and operations, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, but doesn't include an equal sign. Think of it as a puzzle where you need to find the final number. Our goal is to solve these expressions step by step using rules like PEMDAS or BOMDAS. First, let's look at adding whole numbers. Imagine you have 15 apples and you're given 10 more. How many apples do you have? You now have 25 apples. Addition combines quantities to give you the total amount. Think of budgeting. Every time you add up your savings or calculate your grocery total, you're using addition. Addition also works with fractions. Let's say you have 1/2 of a glass of juice and pour in another 1/4 of a glass. How much juice do you have now? To add fractions, we need to have the same denominator for each fraction. Step 1. Identify the denominators. The denominators are 2 and 4. Step 2. Find the least common multiple of the denominators. This common denominator is often the least common multiple or LCM of the denominators. 1. List the multiples of each denominator. Multiples of 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Multiples of 4, 4, 8, 12, 16. 2. Identify the smallest common multiple that both denominators share. In this case, the smallest common multiple of 2 and 4 is 4. So, 4 will be our common denominator. Step 3. Convert each fraction to the common denominator. Now that we have the common denominator, we need to convert each fraction to an equivalent fraction with this denominator. 1. Convert 1/2 to a fraction with the denominator 4. Ask yourself, what do you multiply 2 by to get 4? The answer is 2. Multiply both the numerator and the denominator of 1/2 by 2. So, 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. 1. Convert 1/4 to a fraction with a denominator of 4. Since 1/4 already has a denominator of 4, we don't need to change it. So, 1/4 remains as 1/4. Step 4. Add the fractions. Now that both fractions have the same denominator, we can add them by adding the numerators and keeping the denominator the same. So, we get 3/4. The sum of 1/2 and 1/4 is 3/4. Decimals are added just like whole numbers, but with decimal points. Let's say you have $5.25 and you earn another $3.75. How much do you have now? Here's the step-by-step. 1. Align the decimal points. First, line up the decimal points. 2. Add the numbers. Now, add each column right to left. 5 plus 5 equals 10, write down the 0 and carry over the 1. 7 plus 2 plus 1 equals 10, write down the 0 and carry over the 1. 5 plus 3 plus 1 equals 9. Your total is $9. Decimals are used in money calculations, like adding up your expenses or savings. Subtraction is about taking away. Let's say you had 40 books, but you donate 15. How many books do you have left? You're left with 25 books. Subtraction helps you figure out what remains after something is removed. Subtraction is used when tracking your expenses or calculating how much money you have left after spending. Now, let's subtract fractions. Imagine you have 3/4 of a pizza, and you eat 3/8. How much pizza is left? Just like with addition, to subtract fractions, you need a common denominator. The denominators are 4 and 8. The least common denominator is 8. Convert 3/4 to 6/8 so both fractions have the same denominator. Now, subtract the numerators. 6 minus 3 equals 3. So, 6/8 minus 3/8 equals 3/8. You have 3/8 of a pizza left. Subtraction of fractions is useful when dividing resources, like sharing food or splitting tasks. Let's tackle subtraction with decimals. Suppose you have $20.50 and spend $5.75. How much money do you have left? Here's how to do it step by step. Align the decimal points. First, line up the decimal points. Subtract the numbers, subtract each column from right to left. 0 minus 5 can't be done, so borrow from the 5, making it 4 and turning the 0 into 10. Now, 10 minus 5 equals 5. Continue with 4 minus 7, borrow again, etc. Your remaining balance is $14.75. Subtraction with decimals is essential for managing money, calculating discounts, and balancing your budget. Multiplication is repeated addition. If you buy 5 baskets and each basket holds 6 apples, how many apples do you have in total? You have 30 apples. Multiplication scales things up quickly. Used in shopping to calculate total costs, in construction for quantities, or in recipes for ingredient amounts. Multiplying fractions is straightforward. Let's say you have 2/3 of a chocolate bar, and you want to triple it. How much do you have? Here's the step-by-step instructions. Multiply the numerators, 2 times 3 equals 6. Multiply the denominators, 3 times 1 equals 3. Simplify the fraction. How? Divide 6 by 3 to get 2. You now have 2 whole chocolate bars. Multiplying fractions is useful in cooking when scaling recipes or in construction when calculating material quantities. Multiplying decimals is just as easy as with whole numbers. Let's say you buy 2.5 pounds of fruit at $4 per pound. How much do you spend? Here's the step-by-step process. Ignore the decimal points and multiply. 25 times 4 equals 100. Since there are 2 decimal places in total, place the decimal to get 10.00. You spend $10 on fruit. Multiplying decimals is used when calculating total costs, measurements, and in financial planning. Division is about splitting things equally. Let's say you have 36 candies and want to share them equally among 6 friends. How many candies does each friend get? Each friend gets 6 candies. Division helps you figure out how to share things fairly. Division is used when splitting bills, sharing resources, or dividing portions equally among people. Dividing fractions is a bit different. If you have 1/2 of a pizza and you want to split it into 2 smaller equal parts, how much pizza does each person get? Here's how. First, find the reciprocal of the number you're dividing by. The reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. Now, multiply the fractions. 1/2 times 1/2 equals 1/4. Each person gets 1/4 of the pizza. Division of fractions is useful when splitting resources, sharing food portions, or dividing tasks among team members. Dividing decimals works the same way as with whole numbers, but with decimal points. If you have $15.50 and need to divide it equally among 5 people, how much does each person get? As you would with whole numbers, 15 divided by 5 equals 3, and 50 divided by 5 equals 10. Each person gets $3.10. Division of decimals is used in financial calculations, splitting costs, and measuring quantities precisely. To solve numerical expressions correctly, you need to follow a specific order of operations. This is where PEMDAS or BOMDAS comes in. Both PEMDAS and BOMDAS are rules that help you solve expressions with multiple operations in the right order. Let's solve one together. 1. First calculate inside the parentheses. Multiply. 3 times 2 equals 6. Next, divide. 6 divided by 2 equals 3. Now, add. 8 plus 3 equals 11. Finally, subtract. 11 minus 1 equals 10. Following PEMDAS or BOMDAS ensures you get the right answer every time. These operations aren't just for the classroom, they're everywhere. Whether you're budgeting your monthly expenses, measuring ingredients for a recipe, or dividing resources among friends, math operations are essential in daily life. Understanding how to use these operations makes everything a bit easier and more organized. Ready for a challenge? Solve this: 4 plus 9 divided by 3 times 2. Post your answer in the comments below. Remember PEMDAS/BOMDAS. Understanding how to work with whole numbers, fractions, and decimals is the key to unlocking more advanced math. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more easy, step-by-step math lessons right here on the Math Route. Keep solving and keep shining.